Morning fellas, this is Mark 5 and this is my first X-Mercs battle project. I'm going to take any to a battle I played last night. I would narrate it live, but I'm still trying to get all my software stuff set up. Here I'm taking my main squad. I've got two snipers, 2 scouts, and a heavy. And if you're new to the game, I would tell you that unlocking all the slots is probably a major priority. Excuse me, it takes a lot of the higher end battles and makes them a little more manageable. Anyway, on this particular mission, had a bunch of arachnids pop up as soon as I came in, so didn't really have a chance to move before I was engaged. My typical deal is I will get as many of the kills as I can with the snipers early, and then maneuver the other guys around. On this particular fight, I really needed to get lucky here, and I did. The grenade did some damage, and then my heavy moved up. And with the cyborg skill that lets you damage the additional targets, he took out that group of arachnids. Also, this skill here where he shoots at the first person that moves up is awesome for the destructor class, or the destroyer class. Anyway, so this first group is taken out, and not wanting to move any forward with any magazines, I just spent a turn reloading everything, and then started spreading my guys out. So this is really the first turn I had a chance to do things kind of, quote unquote, properly. And the way I normally do it, matter of fact, I didn't even check the victory conditions. The way I normally do it is I'll lead out with a scout, only moving half move, and then many times he reveals the enemy, they make an initial reaction move, and then you got to figure out what to do with everything left. If he doesn't see anyone, then I can start moving my guys up and taking positions. Now, cover in this game, if you've ever played any of the XCOM games, cover is really important. But when you're fighting arachnids, cover is less important than positioning. Now, when you start getting into spike wings or a lot of the human or alien opponents where you're receiving fire, cover becomes very important. But with arachnids, even though one of them will spit poison, they really got to get right up on you, and positioning is pretty important. Now here I'm coming through this little valley, so the scout moves up, he can see him, but none of the support guys can hit, so it's a little bit inconvenient. However, the same cover that's not letting me shoot them is not letting him get directly on my guys. This game has only been out a couple of weeks. Personally, I think it's one of the best games for an iPod. There's a lot of questions about when's it going to come out for Android devices. And by all rights, the company keeps saying it's coming, it's coming. So if you don't have an iDevice and you're wanting to play, just be patient, hang in there. I will tell you the game is worth the wait. It's a lot of fun. Some snipers. Incidentally, I do have another heavy and another scout so that I can change up my mix. I'll sometimes run 1 sniper, 1 heavy, 3 scouts, or 2 heavies, and then either 2 snipers and a scout, or 2 scouts and a sniper. I have other troopers, but I usually just use those for going to the next position. These are the guys that I level. So I've actually got 5 squats unlocked, and I will tell you, it takes a while to save up the money if you're not wanting to spend cash. I spent cash and bought it, but I've since earned that much money. Even if I had not spent cash, I would have bought the slot. So I have a total of 7 main troops that I level. 2 snipers, 2 heavies. Obviously you can't play 7 at a time, so as a group of them get ahead of the other ones, I'll use squad XP to catch the rest of them up, kind of keep them all the same level. Here is one of the first times I've been able to use my destroyer's grenade skill. Basically what's going on here is I've engaged, I ran out and saw these things, and I'm not going to have the firepower to kill them all, but I wanted to make sure that I could kill as many as I could with the firepower I had. So the grenade skill that the destroyer had makes the rest, makes anyone in the blast area vulnerable, which means they take 50% more damage. And I found that to be, I haven't had the skill very long, but I found it to be quite useful. Of course, it helps to hit them. Yeah, my little recorder here, if you notice this this delay, my recorder kicked out, and I had to kind of shut the game down and go get shut back up and record. You didn't miss any of the action. Just saw a jog there where I had to wait for a second and splice the 2 videos together. I'm wearing all polymer armor, and these guys all have beam weapons and shield generators, so this mission, while you look like a lot of bad guys, it's really not super difficult. I think it was listed as easy or very easy. Although the easy or very easy isn't always an indicator. I've been on easy missions and just got my face ripped off, and I've been on awful missions and they never even got through all my shields, so. One thing to kind of pay attention to is the amount of XP that's offered on the mission. That generally is a much better indicator of how difficult the mission is going to be. And obviously that scales as you go up. So we've knocked out this second group of enemies, and I'm starting to get it ready to come around this corner. I tend to play fairly cautiously. This game has a lot of ambushes where you'll move forward and all of a sudden you'll reveal a bunch of enemy, and the bad guys, and it doesn't matter what type, aliens, humans, or mutants, will pop up and hit you from all directions. So I don't really like using all of my points per turn. There's no reason other than a few scenarios. PvP is one where you're on a timer, and there are some scenarios where you have a certain number of turns to get a mission accomplished. Outside of that, my advice would be don't get in a hurry. Get aggressive play is fine, but you are going to get ambushed a lot, and in those ambushes you'll find people coming from all directions. They'll pop up right under you. Your snipers will get surrounded, and all of a sudden, you're toast. So I tend to scout with the scouts, no duh, and follow up with the heavies, support with the snipers, but always be prepared to either fall back or fall forward. On this particular, I'm on a zone, and I need raw adamite. And this zone produces 0 to 4 per battle once I've progressed 25% through. So I'm literally grinding this zone down so I can get to the raw adamite, because my story quest is held up at research, and the research requires 10 adamite, and I've got 1. So I'm playing this zone over and over. Oh yeah, so here's all of our bad guys. This is not something you want to find with your scout, not having any movement points left. So moving them up half, and here's the ambush I'm talking about. They'll pop up right behind me. Now in this case, I got a lot of stuff in front of me, but these little exploding mutant things will do a lot of damage, especially to my grouped up. So even though I've got a lot more bad guys to the front, these guys are a priority because they will. I've had a couple of those things do a lot of damage, and once you get to the higher levels, and I suppose they go from higher to this, kind of more mid-level. When you kill one, it produces a smaller one. So it requires it's requiring a lot more firepower, even though they're not hard to kill. Although this guy here is gonna not take it all the way out. Even though typically they're not hard to kill, they take up your activations. So I ran the lead scout back, did an assault move, trying to finish those two off. And since they were so close, I really didn't want to engage with the snipers because the snipers lose a lot of accuracy when you're really close to them. So I managed to take that out with the two scouts and the heavy, and that leaves the snipers available to start engaging the other targets at long range. Now my brother plays this game, and he uses, pretty sure he uses a slightly different blood method. And I've been reading and talking to some of my friends who are playing this, and you know, I like two snipers, two scouts, and a heavy, but that is by no means, you know, a universal opinion. A lot of guys run two heavies, and I think that's what my brother runs. He runs, you know, two heavies, two scouts, and a sniper. But to each his own. I don't think there's a wrong way to do it. It's kind of more of a style thing. My brother's kind of a hard charger, and he likes these things running in. So we'll see here. It looks like they're starting to get into close range, and this is where the heavy really shines. Yeah, that cyborg skill for the snipers, it lets you do partial damage down the line of fire, is very handy. Target destroyed. This is my first X-Mercs video, so right now I'm just kind of rambling. I don't really have any thoughts or, you know, sage wisdom to pass along. I'm just kind of testing out the process and the software and seeing how it works. A lot of times, if you see me check, what I'm checking is for the hit points. See my hit points are left to see if I need to upscale the shot, to either add a module or shoot a damage buffed shot. Magazine change. And since it came back and told me that all of the enemies were dead, I know all I gotta do is really just run up and hit the button here to end the scenario. Alright guys, that's it for this battle. I'll start doing some more and try not to ramble on so much. But this is Mark 5. Check out my first X-Mercs.